Jeremiah Washington didn't even flinch when the flight attendant stepped into his row and told him to grab his things, not because he wasn't shocked, but because the shock had already burned itself into something colder, sharper. His boarding pass clearly said 2A, business class, his seat for months now, yet there was Trevor Whitman, a white guy in an expensive but lazy suit, already sinking into the leather like he owned it. Security was on the way. Jeremiah didn't raise his voice. He just took out his phone and made a call. It's happening again. Initiate Protocol Omega. That morning it started like any other high-stakes day in his Houston penthouse. The sunrise spilled gold over glass and steel, his 5 a.m. alarm cutting through the quiet. Meditation, treadmill, protein-rich breakfast, market scan, everything running on habit. Today was the payoff for 18 months of work, a merger that could reshape the tech industry. In the mirror, his Tom Ford suit sat just right. He thought about where he'd come from, south side of Chicago, two-bedroom apartment, a mother who worked 2 jobs and told her kids, they can take your possessions, but never your knowledge. That voice carried him to an MIT scholarship, to building Washington innovations from $5,000 and an algorithm, to Fortune 500 status. A call from his COO, Aisha, confirmed the deal was lined up. Lawyers had caved on patents. The projections were updated. The Wall Street Journal had a profile piece favorable, though they'd still called the story unlikely 3 times. He laughed it off. Years had taught him that as a black CEO, you could be praised and doubted in the same breath. He checked his briefcase, laptop, tablet, chargers, IDs, always overprepared because, well, you know why. His driver, Carlos, mentioned his cousin at the airport had seen more incidents lately. Jeremiah shrugged it off. TSA pre-check. First-class ticket. He'd flown this route 100 times. VIP check-in was smooth, boarding pass stamped with 2A. In the lounge, a young black entrepreneur, Devin Taylor, approached shyly. His startup idea was brilliant. Jeremiah handed over his private email. "Send me your pitch," he said. Encounters like this reminded him why visibility mattered. Someone like Devin seeing someone like him in power. Priority boarding was called. Jeremiah noticed the gate agent's smile tightened when she scanned his pass. The ID check lingered. At the aircraft door, Brenda, the flight attendant, asked for his boarding pass again, unusual. She studied it, studied him, then went to check something. Passengers behind him sighed. He'd been here before. The micro delays, the extra hoops. Finally, she waved him on. It was perfect window, space, quiet. Dorothy, an elderly black woman across the aisle, recognized him. Her grandson worked at Google. They chatted until a commotion at the front pulled everyone's eyes. Trevor Whitman insisted he'd book 2A. Brenda glanced at Jeremiah, then huddled with crew. The head attendant, Kyle, appeared with an air marshal. "Sir, could you step into the jetway?" Out there, with the captain, gate agents, and crew forming a wall, they claimed there'd been a system error. Patricia Wells, the gate manager, blamed a glitch from a minor schedule change. Jeremiah showed proof confirmation emails, check-in receipts, all for 2A. They refused to show him the manifest, but admitted their current list had Whitman in his seat. Then the language shifted. Airline discretion, final decision, economy seat as the only alternative. He recognized the play escalate pressure, hint at security intervention. He chose his move. "I'll accept under protest," he said, voice steady. And he texted Aisha, Protocol Omega. Full documentation. Walking past Whitman in 2A was a humiliation ritual. In economy, a young attendant, Maya, whispered, what they did wasn't right. I documented it. His seatmate, Thomas, a Columbia history professor, had seen it all. Case study of a different kind, Thomas murmured. Other passengers started sharing their own experiences. Phones came out. Social media lit up Sion economy, trending. Then the twist. Maya emailed him a screenshot of the manifest, his seat reassigned 40 minutes before boarding, tagged VVIP accommodation requested by management. Patricia's glitch story? A lie. His team dug deeper. Whitman worked for Rexford Technologies, a direct competitor, and Patricia, she'd been his colleague for 3 years. This was no accident. The flight crew's confidence cracked. Passengers were openly supportive. His legal team connected the dots: corporate rivalry wrapped in racial bias. The airline stock was dropping in real time. HQ was in crisis mode. The CEO himself flying to JFK to meet the plane. Brenda tried to make it right by offering his seat back before landing. He refused. The time for that was before boarding. When they landed, the airline tried to hide at a remote stand. Passengers rebelled, Thomas leading the demand to go to the gate. They won. And when CEO Jackson Williams stepped on board to personally apologize and offer compensation, Jeremiah didn't blink. This isn't about vouchers. It's about changing the system that let this happen. He named names, outlined the investigation he expected, and reminded Williams that Washington Innovations owned the booking software the airline relied on. Contract up for renewal next quarter. Williams understood. By the time Jeremiah left the airport, the damage was global news. Rexford fired Whitman. Patricia was suspended. The airline's board forced Williams into early retirement. Washington Innovations launched the Washington Protocol anti-bias algorithms built into booking and service systems. Within weeks, 5 airlines and multiple hotel chains adopted it. Maya joined his team. Thomas became executive director of a foundation supporting Black entrepreneurs. A month later, the airline appointed its first Black CEO. Jeremiah boarded a flight again, greeted at the door by that CEO, C2A waiting. The pilot announced him as the man whose leadership had transformed their industry. Passengers clapped, business class and economy alike. And sitting there, Jeremiah knew this was never about getting his seat back. It was about making sure the next person never lost theirs. So what about you? Have you ever been in a situation where you knew it wasn't just about that moment, but about a whole system that needed a change? Drop your story in the comments, because the real power starts when we turn one voice into many.